Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's Jerry Miller. It's good to be with you on a Tuesday. I love connecting with you guys on the I Love CVille Network. We are live for Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, and the world. Brian Ashworth in the house. This guy, the entrepreneur and owner behind Ace Biscuit and Barbecue. I have personally been looking forward to this show for a number of times. We have a number of chefs that are currently watching, which we will acknowledge here in a matter of moments. He has built a restaurant and a brand that is absolutely fantastic. I've said this many times on this program. The category that is the most competitive and saturated of any category in Charlottesville and Central Virginia is restaurants. And for you to build a brand and a successful business in the restaurant category, that is no easy task. So we're going to spotlight that with Brian Ashworth in a matter of moments. Let's thank Interstate Pest and Service Companies for being a part of the show. We're an advertising agency at VMV Brands, and Interstate is one of our favorite clients. The business started in 1969 with the first generation in Charlottesville. His name was Mr. Robert Wells, Bobby, his nickname. And he used his personal truck and sweat equity and a vision and some courage to launch a company. He would go to payphones in 1969 and call his customers and say, "Can I go to your house now?" Today, Interstate Pest and Service Companies, guys, is 4 generations of locally owned family that owns the business and almost 100 employees in a Commonwealth-wide footprint. I love success stories like that, just like we love the success story that Scott Wagner, Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, Physical Therapy, Sports Medicine, Chiropractic Care, Dr. Wagner has your back. Judah Wickhauer, you're the director. You have the hard job. My job easy, my friend. I respect you, and I applaud you, and I love you. 7 years we've worked together, Judah Wickhauer and I. Why don't we go to the studio camera, Judah, and why don't we welcome Brian on the show. Brian, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's great to have you. I'm super stoked about the program. Before we get to the brand, how about you? Who's Brian?
I'm just a guy trying to figure it out as I go.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to do a little bit better every day than the day before. Trying to build my brand and keep my restaurant running, and maybe one day I'll have the fortune to pass my restaurant on to the next generation, like you were talking about Interstate.
That's exactly what I want, if he wants it, for my son.
Yeah.
Different perspective. My kid's 18 months old. Okay. Changed my life.
Plenty
I know
time.
you have kids, right?
Yep. 2 daughters, 8 and 7.
Okay.
They're both little rock stars.
So
Love
you're
them.
Deeper in the game than I am.
Yeah.
Best, hardest thing ever.
Yeah. No turning back.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. We're not even halfway to the finish line. Doesn't matter. There's no turning back.
So you launched a restaurant while being a young dad.
My youngest daughter was 3 months old the day I opened the doors at Ace, and what the hell was I thinking is the biggest question that goes through my head when I think back to it. It's a lot of blur, honestly. A lot of sleepless nights, and put some gray hairs on, but we're still here, man. And like you said, Charlottesville is a really hard market to be successful as a restaurant and a catering company. But we've had some good fortune, and luckily, roll with the good and bad, and we're still here 8 years later.
We got comments from Andrew Autry. Danner, Ashworth is giving you props here. I'm going to get to all these comments from Dave Warwick, from our boy Ivan Rekosh at Zocalo. He's watching. Andrew Autry. Laura Fonner at Dooners is watching. I count 9 chefs watching the program right now.
Cool.
3 months old, your daughter, when you unlock the doors to Ace Biscuit and Barbecue.
Yes.
Tell me these, like the, not funny, but like the shit is hitting the fan story from early in Ace, where you're like, holy shit, how are we making this work?
Yeah.
And we're making it work.
Yeah.
Is there one that come to mind?
Well, not necessarily one particular story, but just like that whole span of my life at that moment, like from the time I cut my umbilical cord at at Zocalo, so to speak. Ivan, I see you're watching. I love you. When I got hired at Zocalo, I told Ivan and Andrew that this was going to be my jumping point to open my own restaurant. It took me 5 years, but I loved every second of being at Zocalo and learned a lot from those guys. But once I jumped from Zocalo, it was like I'm in the abyss. You either sink or swim. So
how old were you when you got the Zocalo job?
I think I was 28 when I started working at Zocalo.
First cook job?
No.
Okay.
I've been working in kitchens since I was like 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me the evolution.
Dishwashing.
Okay.
Busboy dishwasher.
Yeah.
eventually you prove yourself enough to a chef who gives a shit, and he's like, "Hey, you want to make salads?"
Yeah.
So I sort of started working like that, and then
So prep cook,
salads, or dishwasher, prep cook, anything that people needed. Honestly, like if there was a table that needed waiting on and the server wasn't there that day, I'd pick that up.
First restaurant job for you?
Bluebird Cafe, which is now. I can't remember what it's called. It's on Main Street, though. It's a Mexican restaurant now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was Bluebird Cafe back then.
I think Laura, you're watching right now, I'm pretty sure Laura Fonner worked at Bluebird. Chef over at Dooner's restaurant.
Cool.
Throw this to you. Did you know you always wanted to be in a chef?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. In fact, I was like just working in restaurants because I was always starving. When you get to eat a couple burgers while you're working as a growing boy, it helps keep you around. And I actually didn't decide to commit my career to the culinary endeavors until I was 15 years in. It was just something that I was decent at, that I could pay my bills with, until I figured out what I really wanted to do. And flopped out of college a couple times and decided, let's go to culinary school. And see if I can get any better at this. And I did, even though I flopped out of culinary school too. I'm still in the field, and now I'm my own boss, and trying to do right by those who work for me. And constantly trying to evolve the business, which we're working on now.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. What was the inspiration for Ace?
Initially?
Yeah.
I just love soul food and barbecue. It was kind of an issue of which space I could find when I was, grinding through business plans, and I had probably 3 or 4 different ideas for different themed restaurants, just depending on where I landed.
Oh, I would love to hear these. What were the other themed ideas? I bet a lot of people don't know this, and the other spaces that you were looking at. I love this kind of shit.
I had a seafood restaurant idea, which was, it would have had to have been in the right place. Then there was going to be like a modern Southern cuisine was one of my ideas. And like I said, it all depended on where I landed. And I was on a shoestring budget, so where I am now was pretty much the only thing that made financial sense for me to go for. But let's see, what was the other? Seafood restaurant and a high-end, Southern cuisine, kind of like a Southern updated cuisine, were my 2 main other ideas. But
let's get to some of the comments. Andrew Autry, woot woot.
My boy. My
Danner,
dog.
woohoo, get it, Brian. Dave Warwick, Brewmaster 3 Notch.
Yeah.
One of my favorite humans. That's who Brian is.
He and I played rugby together in college.
Jesus.
Yes.
I would not want to be playing against you guys because you're no small dude.
Yeah, I was bigger back then.
Really?
But, but Dave Warwick and I met in Salisbury, Maryland, where his hometown, whereas this is my hometown. And Salisbury's 5 hours away. And when I left Salisbury to go to Baltimore to go to culinary school, Dave and I didn't really get to say goodbye. And over a decade later... Stop.
He walked in?
No, I walked into his brewery.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And he was down behind the counter fixing something in one of the kegerators, and he stood up, and we both locked eyes, and we were just like,
yeah, very recognizable dude, right?
Yeah, it took us like all of 30 seconds to figure it out, but he and I used to be quite a handful when we were drinking out in the college bars. I would see Dave across the bar, and I'd take a full sprint running start and just jump and like lay out flat in the air, and he would catch me.
Really?
Catch me or get crushed. That was the opposite. So a lot of people, a lot of collateral damage when we went to bar hopping together.
I think we have some other things that we may or may not have in common. I get the impression that you like to get after it from time to time.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, in everything I do, pretty much.
Yeah. It's 1,000 miles an hour at everything you do, right?
Right.
Same with me. Biggest strength and biggest weakness in a lot of ways, don't you think?
I refuse to not challenge myself on a lot of things, and sometimes I just don't have it in me to go harder than I went the day before. Like this morning, I went on a mountain bike ride.
Really?
Hit some trails before the interview, but
I love mountain biking. Where'd you go?
Pretty Creek Trails.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are like the best, in a lot of ways, the most like rewarding and give back to you of all the trails. I like going in O Hill, but O Hill is like so technical.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when I'm done on O Hill, I'm like, Jesus, did I really enjoy this?
Right.
But then I know, like, if I could do O Hill, Walnut Creek, Pretty Creek, and all the other ones are like piece of cake.
Yeah. I just got into it, so like I'm gone to Pretty Creek a few times, but I'll run the trails a few times and end up with like 14 miles under my belt that day.
Wow.
Today I only hit 8, but that's because I had to clean up and come in here.
Okay.
You don't want to smell me after a 14-mile bike ride, man.
Is this quintessential Brian Ashworth attire right here?
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
I love it. Was it a strategic move coming to the interview?
Oh,
I love it.
This is part of what I wear every day. I got to have, in the kitchens, you got to label things and take notes. So
I love it.
If I don't have this on me, even when I'm not working, I kind of feel naked.
When you launched Ace, were you concerned of all the stuff that could go wrong? Or were you like a lot of entrepreneurs, you're like, I'm not even going to focus on this. I'm just going to be razor focused and go 2 steps forward, 1 step back every day?
Yeah, well, I think that I got the heebie-jeebies more when I was working at Zocalo still and actually getting home from work and staying up for hours writing business plans. Then going through the templates for the Small Business Administration, going through the legitimate making business plans, staying up as late as I could, falling asleep face first on the notepad oftentimes with 4 fingers of beam sitting next to me. But that's when you start putting those numbers together and really like visualizing, all the little details you have to be confident and open a restaurant. I knew my business plan inside and out. Like when I pitched it to the banks, I could like put the notebook in front of the banker and just tell them what was in there, like letter by letter, number for number. And so that absolved the doubts, because it's really not that hard if you stick to the numbers. If your numbers make sense, you're going to be okay. If they don't do it. So once I was into it, I was just like, all right, we're just moving forward. I'm not looking back. I'm not going to, we've had really bad financial months where I'm like biting my fingernails like, oh crap, is payroll going to clear this week?
Right.
You get those maybe twice a year. You've got terrible months where you're just like wondering how you're going to make it. Yeah. For us, it's February and July. But yeah, once you're in it, man, you just got to hit the ground running. If you stop to think about it, you're going to fall behind.
Was it always the plan to go bank financing? Did you ever think the friends and family?
Yeah, no. I did and I didn't.
Yeah.
I'd rather take a loan from a bank just because it's business.
Sure.
And, if you
don't want to be on the hook to anybody.
Yeah,
like
I don't want to damage a friend's relationship by somehow screwing up and not making payments, or I'd much rather get taken to court by the bank, and that way I can still have all my friends and all my family love me. No love lost, but and it also builds credit when you go through banks.
Sure.
You go through personal loan avenues. If you've got someone with a lot of money, then you build credit with them. But I don't really have all that access to money. But
when you're at Zocalo, you're learning from 2 of the best.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Huge fans at this show, just in life in general, of Ivan and Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew
they're like
now,
brothers to me.
What, in Austin?
Yeah, Austin, Texas.
Ivan is running Zocalo still. Mm-hmm. Ivan's watching now. I love everything about that restaurant.
Oh yeah.
It says something about your brand and your menu when you can pretty much have the same menu, unchanged, for a long ass time.
Yep.
And people still come in.
Yep.
And come in and come in and come in.
Yep.
Now the cocktails are banging. The food's always consistently good. The ambiance is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the little perch in the center of the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff you learned from Zocalo and those 2 guys.
Consistency. That is by far the smoothest running restaurant I've ever worked in, hands down. I've worked in a lot of places, a lot of good restaurants that behind the scenes weren't great, and some unknown restaurants that were amazing, but Zocalo was the smoothest functioning restaurant I've ever worked.
What do you attribute that to?
Ivan and Andrew just knowing their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're very good partners, or were good partners.
Right.
I'm sure they're still great friends. They just, they'd have their team meetings, which was very beneficial. Like when you go in for an employee evaluation, they would game plan it before you'd have your little sit down and talk. And so they always came strong to the table when it came to anything. And that's one of the things that I sometimes wish that I had gone into business ownership with a partner.
Yeah.
Because of that, you've got another brain to use,
Sure.
opinions to bounce off each other. But
you think you would have thrived in a partnership?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Guys like Wolf may as well be my partner because he keeps my head in the game quite often. Where I'm just like, I can't deal with any of these little issues and this and that. And, you know, Wolf is like my emotional partner.
Right,
I know. I give him props. I love that guy, man. It's my boy. But yeah, so having not come into it with a partner, now I'm kind of stuck in my ways of just, you know, being the solo entrepreneur. Unless somebody wanted to come to the table with like $100,000 and buy, but I'm not putting that out there. And honestly, like when it comes time for me to retire, I'd rather you know, work on selling either keeping the business in the family if that's what my kids want, or selling the business to someone who's already been a part of it for a long time. You know, because I do want to retire one day.
How old are you?
43.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a young spirit.
Yeah.
And energy to you.
I call it premature.
Yeah, I mean,
immature, premature, you know, whatever. I've always been a late bloomer, so I think that...
have you heard that before?
What's that I'm a late bloomer?
No, that you have a young energy to you?
Oh, yeah. And I still feel like a teenager in my head. You know, I don't have an adult voice in my head.
Dude, my wife and son have been out of town for like 10 days. In Long Island with my in-laws, her parents.
What part of Long Island?
Southampton.
Okay.
And they're just chilling up there. So for the last 10 days, I've been kind of like a bachelor.
Nice.
And all my buddies work in restaurants. One of my best friends is Curtis Shaver, owns Peloton Station.
I love that place.
Yeah, I love Peloton Station too. And so hanging out with these guys, and I swear, these past 10 days have been so much effing fun, okay? Because it's like, come back whenever I want, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but at the same time, now like I'm like 8 days into the bender, I'm realizing, you know what? I think I need my wife. You know, she's keeping me on the, or if else I would go like self-destruct my, you know, throw that to you. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's fun to have the leash off and like free range, but you know, I definitely know what it's like to have to dial yourself back.
Right.
You know, I was a big drinker for a long time, and it's been just over 3 years since I quit drinking. But, I did that for personal reasons, like because, for a prime example, you know, you give me a handle of beam and just watch out. Here I come, going on benders and stuff like that. But
did you feel like you had to do it?
Had to go
stop drinking.
Yeah. I had to because I wanted to be a good father, and you know, being that I was drinking a handle of beam every day by myself.
Jesus.
7 days a week.
Shut the front door.
And I was very functional, but I went to work every day. Shit. But you know, I needed to clean my act up for business ownership, for being a husband, for being a father, and just for myself. You know, be around a little bit longer. So I dropped all that crap. Now I'm trying to get back in shape and, you know, doing all the mountain biking.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
What was the craziest partying ever did? One story coming to mind?
Salisbury Rugby.
Salisbury, oh God.
Salisbury Rugby. Those were the craziest parties. When I was on the team up there, I don't want to like throw any of the details out there, but there are some, you know, details I could tell you off the air sometime that Dave Warwick probably, he can probably remember some of those things.
It's like, no, Brian,
don't tell him.
All right, we won't, Dave. Okay. We won't. He's still watching.
We're safe for now, Dave.
They're safe for now. I love your restaurant because I don't feel like this. I'm going to say what I'm going to say does not apply to my experiences at a lot of restaurants in Charlottesville. We have a lot of really good ones. But when I go into Ace and I pay and give you money, and I'm an entrepreneur, I've been doing this for 11 years. You know this as well as I do. It's hard to earn a buck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I had to work my, you know. So I pay, give you money. I get whatever I'm getting to eat, whether it's brunch, lunch, whatever it may be. I feel when I go to Ace and the meal's done and I leave, I'm like, I gain from that transaction.
That makes me feel good.
Like I left there feeling like I benefited going to Ace with this transaction that happened. I was the one that, you know, won. And that is a testament, I think, to like how damn good your food is.
Well, thank you.
I think it's a testament to like you understand, you price fairly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just think your food and your restaurant and the whole experience is just amazing, dude.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Being priced fairly is one of the things that I'm always thinking about, you know, like, because your bills go up every year. You've got to give your employees raises to keep them around if they're worth it, which my crew now is. You know, so every now and then you got to hike your menu prices up just to, you know, stay in the game.
Sure, of course.
And I greatly dislike doing that, but, you know, sometimes it's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that when we get into the new space we're moving to, that I won't have to raise any prices.
Tell us about that.
The new space? We are moving around the corner from where we are now into the old Valley office machine building.
Nice.
600 Concord Avenue. It's going to be right on Harris Street. A lot better visibility.
Nice.
I'm going to add a few things to the menu, but not much. I'm going to put a few healthy options on there because I want to draw everybody in, not just carnivores.
Sure.
I think I'm going to put a Beyond Burger on the menu, Ace's Way. I'm going to do, like, one of our sides is going to be a grilled vegetable skewer that you can just, get some grilled veggies with your barbecue.
Nice.
Probably going to throw a chopped salad on the menu.
That's smart.
We'll see how long that lasts. When I opened Ace initially, I had a chopped salad on the menu and just watched all those veggies wilt in the refrigerator because no one orders a salad at a barbecue joint. But I'm going to try again just because, maybe being on your show will help get the word out that we're going to have a little healthier stuff. We're also going to get a beer, wine, and spirits license and go into dinner service.
Have you told anybody this?
Just the insiders. This is the big break.
This is fantastic news, man.
Yeah, so we're going to do dinner.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. And we'll have a bar so that I'm hoping to not develop a late night scene, but I would like to develop a really good happy hour scene for all the hardworking men and women of Harris Street and in that district. They just come on in with your muddy boots, belly up to the bar, order something to eat, get a beer, get whatever.
Get the guys leaving interstate.
Yeah, man.
This is a great idea.
Yeah.
You're going to crush it here.
I hope so. Because I'm spending a lot of money to get this done.
So were you like, dude, every time I'm at my current location, it's like standing room only.
I know.
You're like rubbing shoulders with people.
We outgrew that place almost as soon as we opened.
And then you set like the picnic tables up outside to help accommodate that.
Yeah. So we're not going to have an outdoor dining area initially when we first open up in the new place, but we're going to remedy that in the first year or two, I think. Put a few picnic tables outside.
So that's hard. That's some news right there. So your Ace Biscuit and Barbecue is moving from its current location to the location that was formerly Valley Office Machines.
That's right. It's right across the street from Southern States on Harris Street.
It's on Harris. You get a shitload of drive-by traffic.
Yep.
Okay. How much square feet are you getting increased?
We're going to be increasing about 1,000 square feet. So we'll be moving from we'll be moving from what do we have now? Like 8 or 9 seats inside to a total of probably between 30 and 40 seats.
That's a huge increase.
Yeah.
You're going from 8 seats, 8 covers to 30 to 40 covers that you can potentially. How many square feet do you have now?
I'm not exactly sure, truthfully. I think we're in the 12 to 1,500 square feet.
And that's with back of the house?
Yeah, that's with our big prep space in the back that just doesn't make any sense.
Sure, right.
So there's a lot of space in the place where we are now that just isn't viable, So the building's just kind of getting old too. So it's time for us to go bigger, better stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, the market, I think, and your customers are going to respond favorably to this. And that quarter gets so much traffic cut through, and there's really not a ton there, but there are a lot of folks that work in that quarter. And on top of that, Charlottesville's booming, and your food is sick, dude. How about what's the outside of the new spot going to look like?
It's just going to be parking pretty much. We're going to have, the space where we are now is elevated on block and bar structure. So there's parking spots under the building itself. And then, just going to be pretty much a gravel lot around one side and parking up front. But we are going to have the smoker that I just ordered is a big 8-shelf rotisserie, and we're going to have to build this cool patio off the back of the building up in the air. So it's going to be like the big smoker in the sky. It's going to be kind of cool to see when you're driving up and down Harris Street.
Nice.
Yeah, visually cool.
Were you like, am I really going to do this? The opportunity was too good to pass?
And my hand was kind of forced in a few different ways. I wasn't planning to go anywhere for about another year, but there are certain things that came up with the building and everything where I am now that just, like I said, forced my hand where I was like, I got to get out of here now because when your building starts to go, the health department doesn't like to let people sell food out of it. And if you're a restaurant and you ever get a red flag on your door from the health department, for whatever reason, that's just a death sentence.
Sure.
So I didn't want to wait around for that, so off we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is the extra overhead? How are you going to accommodate for the extra overhead with the new spot? You're expanding the menu. You can do more seats.
More seats.
You're
and
thinking
plus
the drive-by and the alcohol sales.
Yeah, bar sales are crucial for every restaurant up and down the downtown mall will tell you. You ask any of those guys in the dead winter months, what keeps you afloat? It's liquor sales.
Watch the game there?
I might have a TV. I'm not sure. I'm kind of torn on that. Maybe a TV for special events, but nothing just playing Judge Judy all day on the wall.
Why are you torn on that? You think it's distracting from
It is. I like people rubbing elbows and getting to know each other.
You do? Yeah. No technology. I mean, this guy was...
I'm a low-tech guy.
I was going to say, straight up said, I don't know about Facebook.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know. You got to tell me. But the one thing that I really liked immediately when we opened the little Ace where we are now is the communal table. I've gotten to watch people who just started dating when I opened Ace, like get married, and now they come in with kids. And I'm not saying they met at Ace, but some people have become friends at Ace because there's no TV on the wall to stare at, and I don't know. It's just kind of a cool opportunity to like sit next to someone you don't know. It's like going to if you ever been to Canal Street in New York City and sat in Chinatown, you go in with a few friends and you're lucky to find 2 chairs next to each other, and you end up sitting next to strangers, and it's just kind of a cool experience,
When you started Ace, I loved going in there, and it's still the case because you'll see like I remember going, and this was like Saturday brunch time. I'm seeing UVA students kind of hungover. Recovering with Ace. I'm seeing I've seen police there all the time. I see folks there that are like blue collar, white collar jobs. Folks from the neighborhood, folks that have come in from outside Charlottesville, tourists. I mean, it's really kind of like this melting pot of like everybody.
Yeah, we get celebrities too, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, NFL players. Chris Long has brought in a bunch of other pro football players over the years and just become one of the guys that we really love to see around. Just a couple NFL players, not like tons of celebrities. But
you got a lot of notoriety, and I loved it, and it showed like who you are and the character of what you are and who you are. Was it right after? Was it 8/12, or was it the next day?
Yeah, it was the next morning.
You booted Nazis from your restaurant.
I did, yeah.
Tell us that story.
Fuck Nazis, that's the story.
Yeah.
My grandfather stormed Omaha Beach on D-Day, and I'll be goddamned if I'll serve one of those pieces of shit in my restaurant.
I love it.
Sorry about the cussing.
No,
that's how I really feel about it.
Yeah. How'd you know?
They were wearing shirts and they were all tatted up with,
swastikas
the bullshit. And then they started doing the Hitler thing to each other in the parking lot, and that's when I just couldn't hold my tongue at that point. And that's when it, kind of popped off. But, they, want to act tough, come on back.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What'd you think of, I was out here on 8/12, and I wanted to say my son was still in my wife's stomach. And I knew that what was going to happen here was going to make, obviously, national news, but something that my boy was going to learn about in history class.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to say, your dad saw this. And I say this on the show a lot. For about 2 months after it, I was in a funk, dude. Like I saw shit I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Ridiculous violence, and I couldn't shake it.
And it was unchecked.
It was unchecked. It was like right.
It's like, why are you cops even here?
Right.
And then the next year they came in full force, and there wasn't a single Nazi in town.
Right.
In fact, the what are they called? The anti-fascist. The
Antifa?
Yeah, they came to town and went on a burglary spree because there were no Nazis to fight. So it's like, who's the asshole for real? And there's all these cops around for no reason. It's just they dropped the ball hard on that. They should have been a proper police force the day of when it happened, not the next year. Or they still mention the possibilities of these guys coming back to town 2 years later, and it just blows my mind.
Right.
At this point, we ought to just be working on memorializing Heather Heyer and making sure, the people of this community know who we are and how much we care about each other, and that all of that shit that came into our town that day was all outside. I don't know a single person from this town or even Virginia that was part of the alt-right or whatever they call themselves.
Sure.
They were all out-of-towners,
You're passionate about this.
Yeah. My heart rate's up now just
thinking
about it.
Yeah, I respect it.
I don't mind fighting at all.
Well, I respect it because you care about the community so much. That's where it's coming from, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I hate to see. I love this town. I'm happy to be raising my daughters here.
Same, my son.
Yeah. It's and for someone to come in and just basically throw their litter on our streets, so to speak, just rubs me the wrong way. whoever they are. You know, don't come, stay in your own little piece of shit hometown and make a scene if you want. Don't come to our town and do that.
When that was going
on, it totally gives the rest of the nation the wrong idea about this town.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And you know what? It came up when I was, and I bring it up on the show because I feel like Charlottesville, unfortunately, is forever going to be linked to this.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it's not truly indicative of like what Charlottesville's all about. I was at with my wife's family, and this was like soon thereafter, A12, may have been Christmas, and you know, and she's got a great family. And one of them, I think it might have been her cousin or her uncle, came up to me at Christmas and said, "What's going on down there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It's not really, you know, the jackass. Who's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars, drove from Ohio. I don't know. How did you respond personally and as a businessman after A12?
Well, I mean, there was still, you know, the people that I kicked out of my restaurant insulted me and threatened me, which I kind of expected to happen. So I just, you know, I carry a gun. I carry a gun every day. I've got a permit. And it's not because I'm worried about my own safety, but there's just so much craziness going on with mass shooters and active shooters, and that's, you know, that's why I carry. But so after these guys, you know, I made sure that I had my pistol on me every day in case they did decide to come back and show their asses. But they didn't.
They never did.
No, they didn't. Yeah, they talk a bunch of shit and then they don't show back up. I call them, they're like, it's like dealing with herpes. When these Nazis flare up, you got to smack them down, and then you're cool for another 20 years or so until some asshole gives them the, like, makes them feel emboldened to, you know, show their face. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. I think, you know, people that waste their time hating other people for who they believe in or what they look like.
That's what I don't understand
it's
about
just
it. It's like
you must not value yourself at all.
Right.
You know, if you did, you'd be worried about, like, you lifting other people around you up.
Right.
Yeah.
You just said it better than I could ever said it. It's like, why consume we have such little time on this planet. Yeah. Why would we allocate our most precious commodity, our time, to anything that is not like a positive, you know, outcome or trying to influence a positive? I don't understand the mindset.
Yeah. It's the whole Jerry Springer thing. It's just like there actually is a population of people in our country that are that stupid. And it's sad to say, but it's true. I mean...
I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
I think you're totally right. How did you, did you grow up in Charlottesville?
Yeah, I was born in Riverdale, Maryland, PG County represent.
Okay.
But
Prince George?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then we moved down here when I was 3 or 4, so I've lived here almost all my life.
So 39 years. In 39 years, how have you seen Charlottesville change? Open-ended question.
It has grown. When I was a kid, like, you know, living out in Barbersville where I live, it seemed like it took forever to get to town. Like Pantop Shopping Center, I think, was just brand new. There was nothing on 29, like 29 North until you, like Hollymead was all forest, Hollymead Town Center, and like Forest Lakes was all just woods, and there was really nothing until you got to Fashion Square. I mean, but yeah, just the population of the town, the amount of neighborhoods that have popped up, just it's blowing up. Yeah.
So did you go to Almore High School?
I did until they kicked me out, and then I had to go to Murray.
Patriot. Should I ask what happened when you got kicked out?
Nah.
Did you knock somebody out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Who would mess with you?
I wasn't always big.
No?
I was a late bloomer, like I said.
Really?
I was the last of my friends to hit puberty, and you know, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was a physical issue that got me kicked out.
Okay. I mean, I would never come across you in a dark alley, Brian. I'd just say Jeffrey Newton is saying, hell yeah, Brian, preach. Brian, you're the man. Jessica Philauer.
That's my girl, yeah.
I love you, Brian.
I love you, Jess.
Melissa Close Hart from Junction is watching the show right now. She's the executive chef over there. Give it a like and a share on any of the streams that you guys are watching. James Watson says, Brian, best sizzle reels of all time when you were talking. Thanks for telling the Nazis what it was. We need more Brians out there. William Cooper is watching. He's a chef. Tim Cotton said, well said, Brian. The extreme right left CVille. They made a scene, but they're gone. Tim is also said, great news on your new restaurant and the lifestyle changes. We'll get to some more of these comments here in a matter of moments. How come barbecue? So when you open barbecue, when you open Ace, what were the existing barbecue restaurants that were in town?
There was Belmont Barbecue.
Right. That then went to No Limits. Now is closed.
Right.
And it's going to be Binos from Mas is opening it up as a Mexican restaurant.
Cool.
He's going to come on the show. That should open in the next, I don't know, 60 to 90 days, I want to say.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Banos. I haven't seen him in a long time, but I remember
He's a good
him from
dude.
back. I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Banos is very cool. And that's awesome. I'll patronize his restaurant. I'm looking forward to just anything new and good food-wise is exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
so there was Belmont Barbecue.
Belmont, and then there was Barbecue Exchange, which is still there. I think, and there was one on Elliewood Avenue called.
Was that Butts Barbecue?
Yes, Butts
Barbecue. That
Barbecue.
was Charlie K-Bash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right, and I think that's all there was.
So when you open, were you like, I see a niche here. I see a hole that needs to be filled.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That, and I just love making barbecue. Like way before I opened a restaurant, or even knew I wanted to open a restaurant, I would buy whole hogs from Dinner Bell Meat Products down in Lynchburg, and just throw big parties on my farm where I cooked a pig.
Nice.
And, I just kind of winged it. I was like, it can't be that hard. But I caught a few hogs on fire, and they turned out okay. But yeah, just a bunch of trial and error, and I've just always liked cooking barbecue and eating barbecue.
What's a day by the smoker like?
Smoky, a lot of holding your breath and taking deep breaths when when the smoke blows by, but really hot and sweaty.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
I do. Yeah. It's physically demanding, and you still got to keep your culinary wits about you, but you're cooking with wood and coal.
Yeah.
So the temperature outdoors plays a part in it. The humidity, if there's a breeze, which way is the breeze coming from? Which way is it going? Oh, it's blowing the wrong way. Now my firebox won't hold temp, so it's going to take twice as long to cook butts today. But just those little variables, they're fun. They keep it interesting, even though sometimes you just kick a bunch of gravel and cuss really loud because nothing's going for you that day. But there's always tomorrow's coming. You just ride the day out, even if it sucks, and start fresh the next day.
That's how I feel. I love that. I love
right.
that attitude. Are you listening to music while you're by the smoker?
No, not usually. I'm churning in my head.
Yeah.
I'm one of those constant thinkers that I just need to turn
it off.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
I've got to take sleeping medication at night because otherwise it's just like
sure. It's like biggest strength, biggest weakness, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the same.
Some of my best ideas have come in that moment where you're just about to fall asleep and you get that like laser clarity.
Yeah.
That's where the Ace dip came from.
Do you not keep a notepad by the bed?
I do.
You do? Yeah, me too. You have one on you? Yeah, I used to have that too. I'm the
That's
same.
why I got to have a pen because notepads, man, for whatever reason, if one of my employees calls or some business related calls, well, I'm, got to keep notes because if I don't write it down, I forget it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Do you ever think are you ever like, oh my God, I got so many ideas here. I want to pursue them all. But then I'm hearing from for me, I'm hearing from my better half, dude, let's just enjoy what we got here.
Right, yeah.
And I don't think I can have that mindset.
Yeah, I hear you. I constantly want to add on to my menu at the restaurant or but at a certain point, you gotta, at least when it comes to having enough space in your refrigerators and having enough manpower to get things prepped up and do it the right way, you've got to cut yourself off somewhere. We were making homemade hot dogs for a couple of years, which is a lot of prep work.
Homemade hot dogs.
Yeah, they're really good. All pork hot dogs.
Really?
And we'll probably, I keep saying this, I might go back to making them when we get into the new restaurant, putting them back on the menu.
Aren't you surprised that there is not more hot dogs in the Charlottesville market?
Yeah.
There was the Downtown Hot Dog Company. Remember him?
Right. Yeah, but they weren't making their own hot dogs.
They weren't making their own hot dogs.
Anyone can go buy hot dogs and throw them on a flat top. But
that's what he was doing. Yeah.
The real mojo comes from actually grinding the meats, brining the meats first, then grinding them. Then you gotta render your fat from your pork leaf lard, and then
holy shit, how long does that take?
So total making hot dogs from start to finish takes almost a week to make a batch.
What?
Because you got to brine it, you got to brine the meats, you've got to,
That's probably why he wasn't making his own hot dogs.
It's a lot of work, but I mean, I've seen videos on YouTube of guys that have been doing it for years, and these dudes crank out 2,000 dogs a day, by themselves. I wasn't that good at it, and I was working with just little hand crank sausage casers and stuff like that, but I could make a couple hundred in a batch, and that would last, a few weeks. You freeze the ones you're not going to use right away and pull them out. But But I might go back to that when we get the new place rolling.
Nice. Melinda Stargell from Moose's is watching the show right now. We got some more questions coming in. This is from Tim in Crozet. He goes, I love his passion for the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. You have Wu playing, is it Wednesdays?
Wu-Tang Wednesdays. That's actually Wolf's, that was actually Wolf's brainchild.
Okay.
He's the chairman of Wu-Tang Wednesdays. So I can't take credit for that, even though he did clear it with me, and I was like, yeah, go for it. I do love Wu-Tang Clan, and I can't really get behind a lot of this new hip-hop. But
why?
Too much auto-tuning, too much mumbling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just maybe I'm aging out of that stuff, but like the good stuff, Wu-Tang, you know, all the old school stuff, I still love.
Your kitchen and your restaurant and staff probably are keeping you even younger too, aren't they?
Yes and no.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the staff kind of age range like?
Right now, I think we've got one lady that's in her mid-30s, and other than that, it's a couple of three millennials that work in my kitchen. They're in their early 20s,
okay.
But they do a really good job, you know. Yeah. There's just a little generation gap between us. Like, they're on their devices a lot, and at first I was like, what is going on, you know? But, you know, I found about millennials that if you give them a challenge, they will rise to the occasion and make it happen, even if it means they got to go on YouTube to figure out how to do it. But yeah, so I've got a young staff, and they try really hard, and they do as best they can, which is all I can ask from them, you know, because we're all human and we all make mistakes. But I think as far as like them, they might keep, you know, honestly, they make me laugh a lot, and that's like the laughter is the key to happiness, which is what keeps you young. So yeah, I guess they might. Do
you like managing people?
That's the one part of the business that kind of was like a punch to the gut. Once I was into it, I was
brutal.
Like, I don't like having a staff. I wish I could just get it all done myself.
Or I always say I wish I could, and this sounds so ridiculous, and I don't really, I kind of mean this, I don't really mean this, but I wish like I could just clone myself.
Right.
And I was like, I know how to do it.
Right.
But then it's like, there's only so many hours in the day.
That's right.
And the business isn't going to grow that way.
Yeah. So as far as like having a staff now, I'm stoked about my staff. I love everybody that's working there. They all do a good job. So my stress level with that is low right now, and hopefully it'll stay that way for a long time. But I am going to have to hire probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 more employees at least
for the new restaurant.
For the new restaurant, yeah, because we're going to go into dinner hours too.
Get out.
So yeah, we're going to be grinding.
Good for you. So what's is it 7 days a week?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude.
We've been open 7 days a week for 3 years straight now.
So 7 days a week, 1,000 more square feet.
Yeah.
From 8 seats to 30 to 40 seats.
Mm-hmm.
Introducing beer and wine and liquor.
And liquor, yep.
And emphasizing or trying to build a happy hour community. Mm-hmm. Not late night, but happy hour.
Right, right.
Gosh, you got balls, dude. Two daughters,
yeah.
43. Yeah. I mean, I respect it, man. How's the family responding to this?
Good. We're all in, you know, like it's where the bread gets buttered. So we got to take care of Ace, you know, because Ace takes care of us. And my nickname's not Ace, just to clarify. I'm not speaking in the third person. It was actually just kind of, I thought it sounded cool, and it'd be first in the phone book.
Yeah.
You know,
first in the phone book.
If you look under barbecue, right. Ace would be first. So that was, you know, just kind of a little strategic / a little cool. When I was still at Zocalo, I started cooking whole hogs for people's weddings as a side gig.
Nice.
And I wanted to have something to stencil onto my smoker that I pulled around behind my old beat-up pickup truck.
Nice. Love it. So branding.
Yeah, Ace Barbecue, and then I have my cell phone number sprayed on there for a long time. And now that I've got a restaurant, I had to get my cell phone number off of things because I'll be trying to sleep at like 10 o'clock at night, and people call me and try to order food for me while I'm lying in bed. And I just... It's a trip, you know. It doesn't bother me. I'm just like, okay, email, and now it's like my business cards, which I don't have anymore. But I got my cell phone number off of them, and it's off all that stuff. But I
love it.
Yeah.
When are you going to open the new restaurant?
I am hoping. We still need to do mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, so I'm hoping. Early December.
Nice.
You know.
So 2019.
Yeah, that's what I hope. Yeah, it's got to be 2019. Oh, my God. So I'm hoping that, since I'm using the equipment that I've got at my restaurant where we are now, plus adding new equipment to it, we are going to be closed at both locations at some point for at least a week.
Dang.
To transfer equipment.
It's going to be tough for you, right?
It's going to be, yeah. I'm going to be losing my mind.
Right.
But, you know, I'm hoping, I don't know if it's too ambitious to think we can get it done in a week, move all the equipment, and get the prep list, you know, get all my food delivered in, make sure we're all set there, and then prep everything out for service. Absolutely no more than 2 weeks. We'll be closed at both places, but I want to keep my guys, you know, my employees with paychecks. I don't, you know, you can't just lay people off and expect them to be happy about it, even if they have their job in another week, but still.
So the staff in that period, how do you do that with the transition? You then essentially pay them to be movers and to help with the transition?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever I can pay them to help me do to, you know, move it along, I'd much rather pay my guys than some outside
outsource
help.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get, is it Marcelia Peril?
That's my sister.
Love you, brother.
I love you.
Charlene Gardner-White. She says the best biscuits and gravy around. Definitely one of our favorite weekend stops.
All right. Thank you, Charlene.
Grace Long is watching in Richmond. When we drive to Charlottesville from Richmond, we go to Ace Biscuit and Barbecue. We can't find his food in Richmond. It is absolutely fantastic. Give it a like and a share on any of the streams that you guys are watching. We'll spend about 5 more minutes with Brian. You filled 55 minutes.
Nice.
And it's been easy peasy.
Yeah.
What do you say to the folks that are like, I'm going to open a restaurant in Charlottesville, Virginia?
Do your homework.
Yeah.
Go through.
Do you hear that a lot?
What's that?
That question?
I'm thinking about opening a restaurant. I've actually heard it from a few people. And, you know, my best advice is take your business plan seriously. Because if you can't make it work on a notebook with a pen, you ain't going to work in real time. So do your business plan. You can go through like the Small Business Administration's website and find a template for a business plan and just be honest and conservative with your estimates and your numbers. You know, shoot low. And if you go through it a couple hundred times, because you should know it inside out before you pitch a bank or anybody, even if it's a personal loan, you should know your information cold. If you stutter or say, or can't remember something, it's whoever's in front of you, like looking to loan you money, is going to lose confidence in you.
Sure.
So you need to be ironclad with your business plan. That's my best advice. And you should also, you know, have some experience in restaurants. It's not like throwing a party at your house.
Sure.
Not at all. Like people that are good hosts and think that that's going to be a good end to owning a restaurant usually lose their shirt. So just do your studying.
How many times have you been asked to franchise?
A couple.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was my initial idea.
Yours, it's perfect for it.
It is, and
right? It's like buttoned up.
Yeah,
you know,
the main issue that I would have with that is that if I were to say stretch into the Richmond market, which I've considered, I would have to partner someone in that has flesh in the game, to run that location. You know, because obviously it can't be 2 places at the same time. But for a while there, that was my idea, is to like, you know, start Ace as it is, get my brand up and running, and get people knowing the brand, and then build a commissary where I could prepare food for 4 or 5 different locations.
Why would you do it that way?
Because you have more consistency when everything's...
you want to maintain food quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to have one location suffering while the other one's doing well, because...
But would the food hold if you made it at the commissary in Charlottesville to Richmond?
Sure.
It would?
Yeah. You just have to have a refrigerated van to get it back and forth. And, you know, you'd have some... Basically have to have heat-up knowledge. You know, instead of trying to hire a chef in every different market.
You'd hire like a front-of-the-house managing partner.
Yeah, you'd have a partner that buys into the franchise.
Would they have like, say, $20K of skin in the game?
More than $20K.
$50K of skin in the game?
More than $50K.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I've got
I know you have
a couple $100,000 in the game at least by now, and almost $200,000 more going into it to open this new restaurant. So I would say if someone wanted to like partner on a new location, it'd probably run about $250,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Any takers?
I think you could have 3 more Aces in Charlottesville market.
I've thought about putting one up north, like before.
Yeah, Forest Lakes, Hollymead.
Yep.
And then Zion's Crossroads,
I was actually looking at the old TGI Friday space in the Hollymead Town Center.
Damn, I bet rent was high there, wasn't it?
Yep, that was the game killer.
Yeah. How much a square?
I think it was 21 a square foot, but
It was a huge restaurant, right?
Huge restaurant. They want a percentage rent too, which was
right.
like, oh, if you're doing well, if you're doing better than you expect, we get a chunk of that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. So it would have cost. I was talking to two guys. I was going to sell equity of my business to them. I would have ended up selling about 45% of my business to open up there. And it was going to be a lot of money to get in there, a lot of money to get it rolling. But I mean, in the end, I could have made a lot of money, but I also would have sold the majority, or a large chunk of my business to other people. This way, I just after we went through the motions up there, I decided it was going to be too expensive, and I was going to lose too much control of my business. Yeah. That's when I decided to just go to the bank and see what I can do on my own. And UVA Community Credit Union, holler, man.
They're taking care of you?
They did. They took care of me initially, with a small equipment loan, and now they're giving me a larger equipment loan. And if they're watching, they're also going to give me a mortgage loan, a house building loan in the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Dang.
Because that's my next goal.
You own the restaurant?
No, I'm going to build a house for my family.
Okay.
That's my next big chunk.
Okay.
Because we live in a little cottage on my family farm.
Okay.
And we're just...
Where's the farm?
Barbersville. Okay. Stony Point.
Okay.
Yeah. My grandfather bought that farm in the early 70s, and now my daughters are the 4th generation to live there, which I think I take a lot of pride in that.
I love that. You're getting some Stony Point love from somebody on the feed here. Let me see if I can find it. Do you go, I'll find it here shortly. Do you go into the mindset of owning the restaurant in the building?
I would love that. But
Charlottesville commercial is expensive as fuck.
It is. Yeah. It is. And I just, I'm working with BMC on, those guys are awesome. It's been a pleasure to work with them so far. I wish I'd have known that the Valley Office Machine building was up for sale, and I could have maybe jumped in on the purchase of it, but I was a little behind the iron on that one. And I signed a 10-year lease with them to start, so, I don't really picture me moving from that location again, but I really would love to own the real estate where my business is located at some point, whether that means maybe one day Ace does move again, or maybe I can just figure out a way to
buy in the location,
buy into where I am. Yeah. I would love that.
You seem to really love the business side of it.
I do.
I get it.
Yeah,
there.
I didn't think I would because I was studying business at Salisbury University, and I did super shitty. I think it's just because learning out of books has never been my thing. Right. I got to get my hands on things.
Sure. And your family's quality of life depends on it.
Absolutely. It's a challenge. I mean, it's every day. It's like, you kind of go through a checklist in your head to make sure you're okay, you're squared away to get out there and do what you do. And, like any opportunity to involve new ideas that are in your head, try to figure out a way to tie them in to better your business and better, your family life. And not only am I trying to make more money for myself with this business move, but I'm also looking at like Wolf and Becca.
Yeah, you're making Charlottesville better. You're creating jobs.
Yeah, and I want to be able to make my employees more money too, because they've become family to me. Honestly, Wolf has kept me in the game so many times.
What do you mean by that?
I've just been so frustrated or so just beat down for whatever reason, like mentally and emotionally, because of the business that, I've just been at some points I've just wanted to throw my hands in the air and say, fuck it, I'm done. But having Wolfman, I've known him since we worked at Fuel Co. back in the day. Like,
really? Fuel Co.?
Yeah,
that's a blast from the past.
That was like
Patty Kluge's spot, right?
15 or 17 years ago, something like that.
It's now that's Chester's Fried Chicken, the gas station on Market Street, guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's how I met Wolf. So he's been my buddy since then. But he cares about the place as much as I do, which is you can't teach people to care, and you can't. Well, these are two things I've taught myself as a business manager.
Oh, I love this stuff.
You can't pay people to care, and you can't teach common sense. People come to the table with it, or they don't. And that's one of the most frustrating things about interviewing people to hire, is because I'm trying to read them like, do they care about the things? You kind of look how they put themselves together, or if they're like checking their phone during your interview, or it's like.
You have people checking the phone during the interview?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Really?
They don't get hired, but they,
My buddy owns Sugar Shack, and he's doing the Sugar Shack franchise. And he's like the millennials and the younger. What's the younger category below millennials?
Oh, I don't know.
That hiring base is just ridiculous expectations.
Right.
And like, you know, whether it's like everybody got a trophy growing up. If you got an 8th place in rec soccer, you're getting a trophy.
Or like, I don't buy into that.
Right, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Or
if
like,
you show up, you get a trophy. Well, I'm not showing up.
Right.
That trophy's
I hate
worthless.
that. It's worthless, right.
Yeah.
Or like mom and dad saying to you like, you can do whatever you want, you know, instead of being realistic with you.
Right.
But like he has said, and we actually had to part ways with someone in that category here at this business.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with that is it's like unrealistic expectations, fast track to management, and also not willing to work.
Right. Walking into the job like expecting to be getting paid, you know, $15, $20 an hour when you're only producing what someone making $9 an hour. Well, you're going to get $9 an hour. Right. Yeah. I don't know why so many people come to the table with a sense of entitlement. Like,
right.
You owe me this. It's like, I don't owe you shit.
Right.
In fact, you know, if I hire you, you're going to be scrubbing floors for me for 6 months before I even bother to like learn your name. Right. Because half the time they wash out. You know, you hire 10 people, 9 of them end up washing out or getting fired. So yeah, that's a trying thing to remain patient with, you know, with people like that. But you know, I'm sure people get frustrated with me for my little weird idiosyncrasies or quirks, whatever they may be. But yeah.
You got this. You're going to love this. And we'll wrap up. Andrew Silver's watching in Austin. That's
man?
One sexy pitmaster.
I love you, Andrew.
Drew McCune says, I'm an ace watching you right now, Brian. Stephen Bridges, I'll be down to help for free with the move. Steve Lanza Jr., I live in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm watching from there. I always stop by Ace when I visit my friend Charlie Murchie in CVille.
Oh, nice.
He's from Disco Risque, Charlie Murchie.
Charlie introduced me to my wife. He's
really?
one of my very best friends. Yeah, man.
Disco Risque?
Yeah. Charlie Murchie is one of my very, very best friends on earth.
Tell me that story of how you guys met.
So
Charlie's a cool dude.
Oh, yeah. Charlie's the man.
He gets after it.
Yeah, he for sure does. Charlie and I met when he was a cook at Timberwood Grill in Forest Lakes. I used their bar as my office when I was doing private chef work, kind of in between restaurants, just, you know, hiring myself out. But I brought my leather folder in there and made phone calls with the beer from their bar. And,
nice. And
Charlie came out of the kitchen and was like, hey, man, I know you kind of like to work by yourself, but, you know, I'd love to help you with some catering. And I was like, all right, yeah, come on out. So I was cooking out of my house, you know. So he came over and we started cooking and bonded instantly. I mean, he was one of my groomsmen in my wedding.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Charlie's very dearly loved at my home. And my whole family loves him.
How did he introduce you to your wife?
Because they were friends in Roanoke.
Okay.
And they worked together at a catering company in Roanoke. And Charlie had moved up here, and my wife, Danner, was coming from Roanoke through Charlottesville to see some friends in Madison where she grew up. Okay. And yeah, Charlie was like, hey, let me introduce you to my friend who's just driving through. And yeah, we hit it off right away.
You charmed her?
Yeah.
You did? I like that.
I was eating chicken wings, and I dipped some chicken wings in blue cheese and just started rubbing it all over my face.
Did you really do that?
Yeah, and I was playing with the curls in her hair and rubbing blue cheese on my face. How could you not go for that guy, right?
Where were you?
Right at the bar at Timberwood Grill.
Oh, my God.
Which is still one of my family's favorite places to eat.
I love Timberwood.
Timberwood's awesome, man.
Timberwood does. Is it Adam?
Adam and Steve, yeah. Shout out.
Yeah,
shout out.
I go to Tap House with Lynn.
Yeah.
And they crush it. That's a big restaurant. You crushed it. Disco Risque was on the show maybe 2 months ago.
Cool.
It's the only time in I Love CVille Show history that the show stopped short because Charlottesville's finest, the police, was banging on the front door because Disco Risque was so loud here.
Nice.
The noise complaints were coming in. He's banging on the front door. It's like, cut it now, or I'm coming in. And then Ryan and Charlie and all of us and Slim Prescott, we're all looking at each other. It's like, all right, I think we should
guess
stop.
the gig's over.
We should stop.
Yeah.
And that's how the show ended.
Yeah. That seems very appropriate.
Doesn't it seem appropriate?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Just a quick stop.
It's a quick stop.
The cops are here, everybody. See you later.
I think we should wrap on this.
Right.
Throw this out here. Give you a plug for the new spot.
Yeah.
So December.
Yep, I'm hoping December, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
1,000 more square feet.
Uh-huh.
You're going from, he's opening a new restaurant on Harris. It's going to be Ace Biscuit and Barbecue, moving from current location to the Valley Office Machine location on Harris.
Correct. Right around the corner from where we are.
Right around the corner. 8 new employees?
Yeah, I'm be looking for probably 6 to 8, maybe 10. We'll see.
Okay.
But
so how many will you have then?
How many total will I have?
Yeah, with the new spot.
I like to put people on full time as much as possible, so I'm hoping 15 full time employees.
Damn, good for you, dude.
Yeah, try to create a few jobs, pay a few people that are willing to work for money.
Right.
You know?
Ace Biscuit
Nothing's
Barbecue.
free in this world, man.
He's going to have updated menu with some new menu items. He's going to have beer, wine, and liquor. He's going to introduce a happy hour. You're going to be open 7 days a week.
Yes.
He's going to be grinding.
And
he's going to be just signed a 10-year lease. Dude, I got so much respect for you. You crushed it today,
Thanks,
dude.
Man.
Seriously.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
You filled an hour. It's 1:30.
Nice.
Danner says, way to go, baby. You're killing it.
Oh, shucks.
XOXO. Give it a like and a share. Literally, you have people that are commenting on the stream right now saying, I'm watching you at Ace Biscuit Barbecue right now.
Is there a viewing party going on in my restaurant?
Party going on?
I wasn't invited.
What happens when Brian leaves the restaurant?
I don't want to know.
Chris Jensen says, what's up, fellas? The new place sounds great. I cannot wait to support it. Chris Jensen, good people.
Yeah, I love his whole family. Yeah, the Jensens are great.
Me too. Dude, isn't it funny? I could continue talking to you, but we got to wrap it. Everybody in Charlottesville is like 3 degrees apart.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, I own a condo at the Villas of Southern Ridge. He lived directly above me.
Cool.
And dude, we'd spend many nights like just getting after it, playing poker, having a good time. Chris and Brian and Aaron, great people.
The Jensens are all great. Sarah, they're all awesome.
The show's awesome. Brian crushed it, absolutely crushed it. I think you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy the show in the replay. We'll archive the show in its totality on ilovecville.com. We will also take the audio from the show and turn it into a podcast on iTunes. We will do both today. We'll take the show and syndicate it for the next 30 days across the I Love CVille network, which is 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, an e-newsletter that goes out to 108,000 inboxes every morning, ilovecville.com, and of course our podcast on iTunes. We close the show the same way every time. We ask everybody that's watching to embody the golden rule. We do not make it about religion. We just make it about treating other people in your life how you want to be treated yourself.
Amen.
It's a simple concept, but Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, and the country, I think, need a little bit more of the golden rule out and about. My name is Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. I am back here tomorrow, Wednesday. Who's on the show tomorrow, Wednesday? Tomorrow we're going to have... I got to find out who's on the show tomorrow. Enjoy your afternoon, guys.
I'll come back.
You did so well.
That was fun, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, you crushed it.
I got to admit, I was nervous. I've always had a thing about cameras, but this is just like hanging out.
Dude, you were a natural.
Fun.
Yeah, I could tell. You were such a natural. It was easy. One more thing. We just got to take the photo here. And this is for the package. Judah's going to do that. Judah, thank you for the help, sir. We'll do it here on this light.